Hi, welcome to Enjoy Living Yoga. Today we have a yoga and Qigong class for acid reflux and stomach ulcers. So when you're having some stomach issues and you don't really want to be doing twists, folds, compressing the stomach in any way. So once you're ready, grab your mat and we'll get started. So we're going to start today in a kneeling position at the back of the mat. So if you're having knee issues and kneeling is not quite accessible, you can always prop yourself up on a brick, a bolster, anything to make yourself a little more comfortable. And once you've got settled into a comfortable position, we're going to just lower the gaze, close down the eyes, bringing one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, to where the stomach is, just at the center, below the rib cage. Just taking about 5 conscious breaths. You inhale, feeling the breath flowing down that central channel until you feel the belly expand. And exhale, sigh the breath out. Inhale again. Feel the belly expand into the palm. Exhale, sigh the breath out. 3 more. Inhale, breathing down into the belly, down into the area that feels a little bit uncomfortable, breathing space around the stomach, the organ of the stomach, and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale out. One last time. Inhale. Exhale out through the mouth. Letting the hands rest down by your side. Take a moment to check in, observe the body, observe the breath, just noticing any areas of discomfort, any pockets of tension, without changing or altering, and just becoming aware of how we feel in this very moment. I'm going to gently blink the eyes open. And inhale, scrunch the shoulders all the way up to the ears. And exhale, sigh the breath out. Let the shoulders drop. Last time, inhale, shoulders up to the ears. And exhale out. Inhale. We're going to begin to gather the arms up and overhead, bringing palms to touch. We're going to gaze up towards the thumbs. And exhale, follow the thumbs with your gaze as we draw them to the heart center. Inhale, gather the arms up and overhead, looking towards the thumbs, and exhale as we draw the hands to heart center. Inhale as we reach up and overhead, beginning to lengthen and stretch the side body. And exhale the hands down. Letting the hands come all the way down to the mat now, we're going to slide them to frame our knees. So if you have your wrist just in line with the top of the knee, we're going to look forward to the top edge of the mat. And on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest just as far as feels comfortable. Exhale, push into the mat to begin rounding through the spine. And again, just take it as far as it feels comfortable. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. So it doesn't need to be a big dynamic movement. Just starting to breathe some space into the vertebrae of the spine, get the spine moving. Don't worry too much about engaging the core muscles. Sometimes if we're dealing with the stomach ulcer, this is really not going to be very accessible to us. But you just explore the range of movement that you have available, thinking mainly about the spine. And create as much movement as possible. Just letting the movement travel from the lumbar up to the mid-back, upper back, neck, chin. And one last time, inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. Exhale, round through the spine. Let the chin tuck in. And inhale, we're going to float ourselves back up into a neutral spine, hands on the knees, and just a bit of gentle pressure to help the shoulders root down and the crown lengthen. Inhale, exhale out. I'm going to put the weight into the hands, bring the hands to the mat, and curling the toes under. We're going to start to lift the knees and make our way into a yogic squat. So just going to pivot the feet out, like wide shoulder width apart. I like to just shift the weight a little side to side. So we gently open up the hips. And start to let the weight sink down between the hips. So we shift more weight into the feet and less into the hands. So we want to try and avoid having this sort of rounded hunchback shape where a lot of the weight is here in the chest and the hands, but rather lift through the spine and let the weight sink down between the feet. It's just the fingertips are just there, just for a little bit of balance. And then we're going to try and lift the hands completely, bringing the hands into a prayer position, pressing the palms together so that we extend, we activate through the elbows, active prayer. Starting to lift up through the arches and root down through the outside of the foot, the outer foot. Inhale. Let that breath float all the way down the length of the spine, down all the way to the sacrum, coccyx channel flows all the way down. And exhale, the breath flows back up and out. Inhale, we're going to root down, press through the feet, and start to make your way up, all the way to stand. Inhale as we reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to center. And we're going to lift the balls of the feet and bring the toes to point towards the top of the mat. Now turning towards the side of your mat. So we have the outer edge of the left foot is going to be right up by the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. And we're going to bend the knees. Bend the knees so that when you look down, you only see the top half of your foot. Let the arms rest down by your side. And have a little bit of space in the armpits. So imagine a little gumball in our armpits. And then just notice the chest. And if the chest is broadening and reaching forward, we're just going to soften. Call these the eyes of the chest. We're going to just soften the eyes of the chest. Gazing forward. And we're going to take a Qigong form called Dragon. This is one of my favorite forms. We're going to break it down step by step. So to begin with, just take a moment and feel your center of gravity. Feel this channel, the central channel flowing all the way down between the feet. We're going to bring all 4 fingers and thumb to touch. And this is called crane. So we're creating the beak of a crane with our hands. The fingers turn in towards the wrist. We flex through the hands, flex through the wrist. And as we retract the elbows, we're going to shift the weight into our right leg and float the left knee up into the chest. We're flying crane. We're going to extend the palms now. Extending through the wrists, push mountain. Imagine that we're pushing mountains apart with our palm as we begin to rotate, spiral our thigh out. So we're opening out the hip. You're going to feel a stretch in your outer hip. And then we're going to continue to circle that leg all the way back, 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 crossing it behind the right leg. So you want to have your knees crossing and your foot is about shin width away from your right leg. Your left hand is going to come to heart center, softening through Renmai. This is our yin channel that travels down, our yin meridian that travels down the central channel of the body. And it's a reminder to soften the chest, soften Renmai. Your right hand is going to come back into your crane's beak and is going to rest here at the sacrum. And we're going to spiral, spiral, spiral to look at that back foot. And you can get nice and low, but instead of bending forward, we're going to maintain connection between crown and heaven, tail and earth. Rather, let your descent come from your legs. So we're squatting down into the legs, almost compressing a spring. Imagine this spiral spring, and we're compressing it and turning towards that back foot. It starts to feel quite strong in the thighs. Inhale and exhale, release. We're going to completely unspiral, pivot the toes to the top edge of the mat. So kind of into this pyramid posture. Hands reach behind the back, opposite hands to opposite elbow. Inhale, lifts the chest. Exhale, we're going to lengthen forward, just come as low as feels comfortable. So rather than trying to get into a forward fold, think of it more as a stretch, lengthening forward, shifting the weight forward until you feel a stretch in the back of your right leg, the hamstring, the calf muscle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Pivots us all the way back up. Release the hands. Again, we're going to take our crane beak. We're going to shift the weight into our front leg. Take a bend in the knee. If you think about it almost like we're lifting up the strings of a puppet. We're lifting up the strings of our back foot. Floating it up and down. Again, feet hip width apart. We're going to again come to crane. This time, right leg floats. Inhale, we're going to lift that right knee in towards the chest. Retract the elbows. Exhale, push mountain as we send the right leg all the way back. And step the foot down, coming to a high lunge. Cross the arms one in front of the other. Qigong form called separating clouds. As we inhale, lift the arms up as if you were taking off a jumper. And gazing towards the palms, fingertips up, turn up to the ceiling. And we're going to start to separate the hands, visualizing our hands, separating the clouds above our head, clearing the space. Maybe visualizing clear blue skies as the hands radiate down. And just taking a moment here, just breathing into that space we've created, that clear, open space. The right arm is going to spiral up and back. Warrior 2, bringing down the back heel. Left arm reaches forward, gazing towards your front fingertips. Again, we're going to flow through crane, push mountain. So, taking an inhale, bring all 4 fingers and thumb to touch. Exhale, we're going to retract the elbows. Press into the left toes to extend the knee. Exhale, push mountain, returns us to warrior two. 2 more times. We're going to inhale. We're drawing all our energy in towards the navel center, taking a moment to nourish, rejuvenate, and then exhale, that energy radiates, starfishes out. Inhale, drawing all that energy back towards center. And exhale, let it radiate out to all of the limbs. Extend the fingertips long. Warrior two. Just notice where your attention is. I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness all the way down to the soles of your feet. So feeling into the soles of the feet, the surface area of the skin, and how the soles connect their relationship to earth. Almost let them breathe open, releasing any tension. So the skin almost expands to meet the earth, connecting us and grounding us. At the same time, the energy reverberates back up, back through the balls of the feet, up the legs, up the pelvis, torso, to the heart, lungs, radiates out through the arms to the palms, all the way up to the crown of the head. And bringing the hands onto the hips, we're going to turn towards the center of the mat, the long edge of the mat, and start to pivot the legs into a goddess posture. So goddess posture, lengthening the pelvis down, thighs open wide, toes pointing out, heels turned in. In Qigong form called parting clouds. Bringing the hands out wide, palms turned up to the ceiling. We're going to inhale as you draw the little fingers towards each other. Hands come in towards the heart. And then one by one, start to turn the fingers in. So we really articulate the movement through the wrists. We gather anything that's heavy in front of the heart. Push it away. So hands float back out. Round two, inhale. We draw the hands in towards the heart. Begin to gather whatever feels heavy. Exhale as we release it out. Last round in your own time. Hands float in. One by one, the fingers rotate down. Gather anything that feels heavy in front of the heart. And let it float away. The hands come down. We're going to bring one hand on top of the other over lower dantian. This is a couple of centimeters below the navel. So energy center in Qigong. Inhale, begin to gather the arms up and overhead, bringing palms to touch. Exhale the hands to heart center. We're going to pivot the toes forward, shift the weight into the right foot, and then take a big step, feet hip width apart. So this time we're down by the bottom of our mat. The right outer foot is close to the top edge of the mat. Step feet hip width apart. Hands rest down by your side. We're coming to Wuji, emptiness stance. Bending the knees so we just see the top half of the foot. Right side, we bring the hands to crane. Inhale as we retract the elbows, lift the right knee. Exhale, start to rotate that thigh open as we push mountains apart with the arms. And then we continue to circle that leg all the way back and cross it behind the left knee. Right hand comes to Renmai, heart center softens. Left hand creates that crane's beak and comes and sits at the sacrum. We're going to spiral towards the left, looking towards that back foot. And again, if you want to take it low, compressing that spring, pressing down through the legs, let those thighs get involved. Make sure we keep breathing. Inhale draws us up, and then spiraling all the way to turn to the bottom of your mat. So we've got our left leg forward, right leg back. Both hands come behind the back, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we're lengthening forward. So again, just take it as low as feels comfortable, never forcing. Thinking more about sending the hips back so you get that nice stretch. The back of your left calf and left hamstring. Inhale brings us up. Again, we're taking those crane arms. Shift the weight into the left leg. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Again, crane arms this time. Left leg lifts. Inhale the left knee up. Exhale, push mountains as we send it back. Warrior 3. And then stepping down, high lunge. Cross one arm in front of the other, separating clouds. Inhale like we're pulling off a jumper. Looking up towards the palms. As we part the hands, we visualize the space above our head clearing. Visualize the clear blue sky. Hands come down. Breathing into that clear, open space. Left arm swings forward, up and back as we root down through that back heel. Right arm reaches forward, and you can widen your stance. Coming to your warrior 2. As you settle into the posture again, inviting you to check in. Notice where the mind is. And then bring your attention all the way down to the soles of the feet. Let the tension in the toes release. Visualizing the soles of the feet expanding to meet the ground. The skin cells expanding to meet the earth. And then that energy reverberates up the body, up the legs, all the way up to the crown of the head. Again, we bring 4 fingers and thumb together. We're flowing crane to push mountain. Take an inhale. Exhale, retract the elbows, begin to straighten your front knee. Exhale, we radiate energy out. Push mountains, come back to that warrior 2. Inhale, we draw the energy in, we nourish. Exhale, we radiate out. One more time. Inhale, draw the elbows in. Exhale, radiate out. And releasing the wrists, extending the fingers long. Bringing the hands to the hips. Again, we're going to pivot the toes out towards the sides. Heels come in, coming to our goddess posture. We're going to lengthen the spine down. Draw the thighs out. So you want to have the knees tracking that middle toe, second to middle toe. Inhale as we reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale the hands to heart center. Again, feel into the soles of the feet. Spread the toes, plant them. We're going to inhale, lift the heels. Exhale to plant the feet. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, plant the heels. One last time. We're doing so well. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, plant the feet. Root down. Inhale, straighten the legs. We're going to pivot the toes forward and shuffle the feet together. Coming to Wuji, emptiness stance, feet hip width apart. Soften the toes. Bend the knees. Soften the arms. Soften the eyes of the chest. Ending our practice with the Qigong form called clearing, filling, and sealing. So we inhale. Begin to gather what feels heavy, what feels tight, what feels uncomfortable, emotionally, physically, what feels restrictive. As the hands come overhead, we're going to turn palms to the earth. Middle fingers point towards each other, but without touching skin. Exhale as we glide the hands all the way down the central channel. Releasing and letting go. Letting all that heaviness melt away. Our second round is filling. Inhale as we gather everything that feels cooling, nourishing, soothing, calming. And as the hands come overhead, turn the palms down to the earth. And exhale with the intention to fill, take in all those qualities we gathered. Hands soften down, Renmai. Softening that front channel. And the last round is sealing. So if you imagine this as that top coat of varnish that holds in, seals in all the vibrancy, the vibrant color beneath. We let the hands glide down. Bringing the hands to rest at the lower dantian. One hand over the other. Just taking a moment to absorb all of that in. Let it seal into the body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, beginning to lift the gaze. I'm going to bring the hands to touch at heart center. And thank you so much for joining today's class. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have given it a go, leave me a comment. I would love to hear how you found it.